We are going to talk about the nervous system. Here you have a guide where you can see all the things that we are going to talk about. If you want to see it with detail, you can stop the video. The nervous system receives, interprets, and responds to stimuli from inside and outside the body. Process. Sensitivity consists in you receive information through the senses, the brain receives the information and thinks what to do, and finally you act. This happens very fast.
The neurons form the brain. They never touch each other because the information passes with a chemical reaction. In the first photo you can see the parts of the neurons, and in the second how the information passes.
The central nervous system. It has two parts, the brain and the spinal cord. The brain is the most important part of the body. It has three parts, the cerebrum, cerebellum, and the brainstem. The cerebrum controls our voluntary movements and stores memory. The cerebellum coordinates movements and balance in our body, and the brainstem regulates our organ activity. The spinal cord. It goes from the brain to the bottom of the spine, and it's protected by the spinal column.
The peripheral nervous system is made up of nerves. The nerves carry information all around the body to the central nervous system. There are two types, the sensory nerves and the motor nerves. The sensory nerves take the information from the sense to the central nervous system, and the motor nerves carry the orders from the central nervous system to the muscles and organs. In this picture we can see all the nervous system.
The involuntary movements or reflexes happen automatically with a conscious order of the brain. In many reflexes, the brain is not involved. The spinal cord receives the information and sends an order of movements, so it responds much faster. When something is very hot, you don't leave your hand a long time. You pull it away very quickly. Voluntary movements happen with a conscious order of the brain. When you want to run, you run, like in the picture. The healthy habits. You shouldn't smoke, and you shouldn't drink alcohol. Do exercise regularly and get plenty of rest. Drink water, eat healthy, limit your intake of caffeinated drinks, avoid drugs and concentrate in one thing at a time. Don't use non-prescription medicines.
Senses. We have 5 senses: hearing, sight, smell, touch, and taste. The brain has specific areas where the information that comes from each of the senses is interpreted. If we follow the clockwise, the areas would be bottom left, hearing, very near, smell, then touch and pressure. On the upper right side and below it is vision, and taste can be found in the center.
Some of the nervous system disorders are Alzheimer's disease, a disease of the nerve wherein a person has a deterioration of his memory, thinking, and reasoning.
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis is a disease that breaks down motor neurons, which results to the loss of the ability to move any of the muscles in the body. The brain sends an order to the muscles that never reaches its destination, so they don't respond.
Epilepsy, disorder of the nervous system wherein the person has seizures that often involve convulsion or the loss of consciousness.
Huntington's disease, inherited progressive disease causing uncontrollable physical movements and mental deterioration.
Migraine, a particularly intense form of headache. Parkinson's disease, is a disease that affects the way you move. It happens with problems in some nerves in the brain. Amnesia has effects on memory, especially in past experiences. Cerebral palsy affects the use and control of a person's muscles. This happens to newborn babies that have an injury or lack of oxygen, usually normal intelligence. Visual neglect. Part of the brain of a sufferer is not working well, so he or she may only be able to paint half of a painting or eat half a plate because he doesn't know the other half exists.
And this is all for today.
Thank you for listening.